Why do Newcastle United fans want Steve Bruce out of a job? Hello and welcome back to 2 Minute Tuesday on my channel. That is the question I'm going to be asking and answering today, is why do Newcastle United fans seem to have such a hate for their own manager? So we will have a look at this in more detail. I've come across this, as I mentioned in my last video, because of a good friend of mine, ActiveArron. I'll leave a link to him in the description. It was a great idea and I thought, why not hop on the idea, and be sure to follow me down on Twitter as well if you want to get involved in these kinds of things in the future. That's where I usually post my stuff. All of the links to my socials will be in the description, as well as Aaron's YouTube page as well. So without further ado, we will jump into this week's 2 Minute Tuesday. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So Newcastle United are a team that in recent years have very much been either in form or out of form. There's no real in between. And a lot of that is due to Mike Ashley and the managerial positions. In recent years, Rafa Benitez was a fantastic addition to the coaching staff at Newcastle United and really changed the form and the look of the team, and did the best he could with a limited amount of money. Steve Bruce has come in, however, on the other hand, and he has brought a negative style of play, and despite spending 100 million on Joe Linton and Alan St-Maximin and a couple of other players, we've not really seen any progression. And Joe Linton and Alan St-Maximin were two players that were highly praised a few years ago. In fact, if you're a FIFA fan, you will remember that both of them got a Future Star card on FIFA. Much of the criticism which goes towards Steve Bruce is his lack of knowledge of his team. He doesn't seem to approach the game as you'd expect a manager. He doesn't seem to know his best 11, and he's always chopping and changing everything about the club. From the comments which I received on Twitter, there was a case of 3 games where they played 3 different formations and lost each time. That is always going to cause problems in your club, and especially with a club in such turmoil behind the scenes as Newcastle United are, that's always going to bring up problems, and it's very much a kick to the teeth for a team that used to be so successful and used to have such top quality players and managers. I think it's really important to talk about the next point, because I think this is probably what grinds people's gears the most in terms of Newcastle fans, is the fact he never takes responsibility, blaming the fans or the players for the negative attitude or the poor performances. And I think that's what grinds the gears of most Newcastle United fans, is he can't accept the responsibility of his team's poor performances. And I think that's something as a manager you need to be able to do. The criticism of Frank Lampard probably could have been the same as well, that he wasn't necessarily always taking blame, he was diverting it, whatever, putting it onto the players. And that is a very similar thing that Steve Bruce does, and I think that's really what irritates the life out of some Newcastle United fans. It hasn't all been doom and gloom under Steve Bruce. There's been excellent signings, there's been excellent games, but ActiveArron pointed out to me that last season Dubravka made the most saves, and this season Karl Darlow is in the top 3 for the most saves. And that's an important thing to see about this Newcastle United team, that people say he steadied the ship, but has he really? They're still conceding the chances, they're still conceding the goals, and if it hadn't been thanks to 2 quality goalkeepers, who, quality mid-range goalkeepers, Dubravka, you could say, maybe should be at a better club, but if it wasn't thanks to them, would we really be talking about Newcastle United in the Premier League? Maybe not. That is one of the small but many reasons why Newcastle United want Steve Bruce out of their club. Anyway, that concludes this week's 2 Minute Tuesday. If you have anything that you would like me to talk about in next week's 2 Minute Tuesday, be sure to like and subscribe, leave a comment as well, and I will see you on my next video. Cheers!